Everyone, my name is Kelly Richards. I am with Lunatik Athletics, Inc. We are a Canadian manufacturer distributor of compression products and wellness products. We are licensed through Health Canada, ISO certified, and recognized by insurance companies for the products that we sell. Today, we're going to be looking at Attree Performance socks, which are a 15 to 22 millimeters of mercury. A lot of people will say, I've heard of 15 to 20. Why do you go to 22? We used to sell a lot to the European market, and a 15 to 22 product is considered a medical sock. So we just continue to do that. It's you get a little bit more for your money, I guess. And people really like the feel of the socks. So you just get a little extra compression in them. Okay, so we're talking about 15 to 22 millimeters of mercury. This is what we call performance, kind of like the first step to compression. People can buy that compression directly from our website, or they can buy it from our registered vendors. We do this to get people interested in the product. Our medical grade compression cannot be purchased by the client. It can only be purchased by registered vendors because it's considered a medical device in the 20 to 30 millimeters of mercury. So 15 to 22 can be purchased either through a vendor or through our website. We always recommend purchasing through a vendor because you get measured properly by somebody who's in the industry and who fits people for compression. As a manufacturer distributor, we do offer compression certification. It's called our basic phlebology course. That is something that is offered to our registered vendors. So if you're interested in that, please reach out to us. So we're just going to get started. So this whole bottom shelf is our performance 15 to 22. I'm going to start off with classic synthetic compression. So it's kind of like a one-on-one we're doing. I tell you about the socks, and then if you have questions, you can also reach out to us. So classic synthetic, these 5 are all our classic synthetic. It's what compression's usually made out of. You need synthetic fibers in the garment to create the compression. It's that lycra, it's that stretchy product. So this would be our Monotech, Classic Performance, Rocking Dot, Chakra Sock, and Urbane Stripe, all made from the same fiber. So nylon acrylic. And then the only difference between these socks is this sock. This sock's a little different. So when my lighting is working perfectly with me, you can see what I'm talking about. So what we're going to discuss right now is the cuff. So if you can see, this is what is called a regular cuff. You can kind of see it starts right above my fingernail. It's a generous cuff. When you see other manufacturers, their cuff is usually maybe a third of the width of ours. We like to have a larger cuff because the cuff of the sock usually tends to, I always say, like bite in a little, where there's a little more compression up there. And it's usually a place on the leg where people have a little more cellulite. So it'll kind of dig in if it's really small. And people will always say, oh, I would wear compression, but they fall down, they roll. So it's usually with a small cuff. So our regular cuff is generous. And then the Urbane Stripe has what's called a comfort cuff. So you can see it's almost double the regular cuff. And what that does, that I love, is it dissipates that pressure at the top of the sock. If you have someone whose leg has a little more cellulite at the top, mine, that might be something that you want to consider. And we randomly put them on socks. So while we go through the products, I will tell you when it has a comfort cuff and if it has any differences from the other socks. Okay. So our performance compression come in 4 sizes. You have small, medium, large, and extra large. Extra large does encompass plus size legs. So I'm super proud to tell you guys about that because it's rare. And then people fit in a range. So all of our information about sizing is available online. along with the certification for our registered vendors, where you get to understand all of that and how it plays out. If you currently are certified in compression or you have experience in compression, we kind of run the same way other people do. So it's a range, and people usually like this, the medium would start inside the small sizing and then go, and vice versa. There's usually some overlap. Okay, so once we look at our classic synthetic, we're gonna move over to merino wool blend. So this is the Work It sock. So some things to know about merino wool is it's thermal regulating, moisture wicking. It has a natural lanolin in the product. Very nice and soft on the skin, anti-friction. All of our socks are antimicrobial, antifungal. Merino wool blends all have a padded foot. So we have padded the foot as much as we can because it's also, being that it's a natural fiber, it's delicate. So what we'll find in a wool is people will wear through it faster if they have a synthetically lined shoe. When we design products, we look at the whole picture. In our wellness products, you'll see that we have a wool liner. So if you do have someone who loves a merino wool sock, and maybe the sock only lasts for 3 months before they wear it out because they're wearing a shoe that's synthetically lined, something like a Croc, a running shoe, orthotics, they will run through a sock faster. You can also add in a wool liner to their shoe, which will prolong the life of the socks. The liner's also thermal regulating, all that kind of wonderful stuff as well. So padded foot to the max, super luxurious. And then what you're going to notice is this one also has the comfort cuff. So it dissipates a bit of that pressure at the top. Next to our Work It sock, we have another merino wool blend in the lumberjack sock. This is one of my favorite socks. I was wearing it yesterday because once it dips under 10 degrees, I love wearing merino wool. What you're going to find about this one is not a lot of merino wool in this sock because it's only located in the bottom of the sock. So it's only in the sole of the sock. The rest of the sock, to get this pattern, we make it out of a synthetic. So it's definitely a blend. And then all the extra padding goes into the wool foot of the sock, right where you need it most. Next sock we have is the Salt and Pepper. Salt and Pepper, obviously, because it kind of looks like Salt and Pepper. And I grew up in the 90s and it was a great, great band. Love it. Salt and Pepper is a cotton blend. Cotton blend, synthetic, mostly on the bottom. And it's also a padded foot. So you'll notice behind me, there's a lot more socks. We're only talking about the bottom row, but we do have more blends of cotton. So this one's just a little special. We have it in our performance so everybody can try it. Padded foot, cotton throughout, very comfortable, awesome base layer. If people have sensitive skin, they'll like to have a cotton sock. Just a quick note, people will say, oh, cotton is really good for diabetics. Yes, it is. However, why did I put a black foot? We did a black foot because if someone has diabetes and we're worried about them wearing a compression sock, we would worry if they were a client that had neuropathy. If somebody has neuropathy, they're automatically off the list for compression. We don't compress a limb that someone cannot feel. Contraindications, diabetic neuropathy, any kind of neuropathy, specific heart conditions, some cancers that cannot have increased circulation through compression. So you're always giving the best options, and it's okay because your client can feel their toes. So we're not worried about a black toe. Diabetic socks are usually no compression and white when there's neuropathy involved. Okay, after our cotton blend, we have microfiber. So I'll show you both of these. These are both a microfiber, which is synthetic. Microfiber is really soft and silky on the skin, so people really like it. It's got that resilience of a synthetic. So when we look at the socks, obviously we can see this one has a wonderful maple leaf in the strong and free. And This is Propel Elite. So they're the exact same sock, different colors, just a little bit of a different pattern on the foot. I'll put this guy back and we'll just use Propel Elite to talk about. This sock is a little bit special where you'll see that we have comfort cuff. I think you can see wonderfully how it's a little darker up here. This is the full cuff. It also has a different woven pattern. I call it a waffle weave. They're put on different places in the leg that would mimic lower limb taping. So it is more of an athletic sock. We do have other ones in medical. This one's really great. I love the little diamond pattern. If you have somebody who says, I don't like how a sock collects at the ankle, this will dissipate that pressure, so they will feel that a lot less. The padding of this sock, so the foot is padded, starts in the toe, wraps around, comes all the way up here along the Achilles. So definitely if people have shoe issues, if they have a lot of movement in the shoe, I stick with synthetic. You can usually see by the socks they're wearing, you can tell by skin discoloration as well if people have a lot of movement. If they just walk in a certain way where the back of the heel has a lot of activity, we'll call it, the extra padding's quite nice. If people are wearing boots, I find this quite nice because the padding goes up so high. I love the feel of the lower limb taping mimicked in the sock, and then moisture wicking channels in that padded foot comfort top. Feels great. Both of them are the same, just different colors. And then the last one I have for performance, wah wah, it's plain. So we are known for fabulous patterns and colors. And then quickly, I've been with the company for 10 years. So 3 years in, people started asking for plain. And I was like, hello, look what we could do. Not plain. I find everyone does plain. It kind of made us different. And then people said, yes, different is good. Different textiles, different fibers, different weaves. It's all fabulous. But I have some people who don't want extraordinary. They just want ordinary. And I was like, how can we do ordinary, but better? So yes, this is plain. Regular cuff, which is quite nice. Regular foot, not padded. Totally black, except for that tiny little different shade where all of our socks say either Achi or Achi Plus, depending on their gradient factor. So what we did, this is a synthetic sock made from Cool Max. Cool Max is just registered trademark textile for athletic wear, and its claim to fame is moisture wicking. So when we think about socks, when I think about a construction worker wearing boots and the doctor says, oh my gosh, you need to wear compression. And he goes, huh? And then he talks to his foot care nurse who says, yes, we have compression. We have all different kinds. This is what I would recommend to somebody. Anyone wearing a uniform who has to wear black, or they're wearing work boots and they're like, oh my gosh, compression, it's so hot. This is what I would choose. Cool Max wicks away 40% of the moisture away from the skin. We find it's perfect for people who tend to perspire a lot in their footwear, which could be anyone. I find if you're wearing longer footwear like boots, this is the perfect option because boots tend to keep your feet a little bit warmer, your legs warmer. The motion of walking cools off the sock, cools off the legs. I just think it's fabulous. So ordinary, but we still made it extraordinary. And then you'll see that in medical grade, we have a whole bunch of different colors. So performance compression, 4 sizes, available to the public. What's the benefit of them buying it through a registered vendor? They get fit. You know, if there's a problem with the fit, they can speak to the person they purchased them from. The person they purchased it from is a professional. We put our product in the hands of professionals like yourself. We find that very important. I don't want you buying compression where you also fill up your gas tank or where you buy your groceries. I just think it's important that you have a conversation with the person who's selling you the socks so that they can provide the best care to someone. I do believe in circle of care, which is why we carry compression and wellness products, which you'll see in future videos. We just want to take care of your whole body. We want our registered vendors to have all the tools in their toolbox needed to make sales outside of their services that just make sense. You're not selling shampoo to someone you're doing a foot service to. You're selling compression socks because their doctor said they need them. And when you look at the legs, you can see that they need them as well. So we think that's super important. We love having people like yourselves register their businesses with us. We make it really easy. We're Canadians supporting Canadian businesses, and we think that's super important. If you're looking at registering your business, you can just go to our website. So Lunatik with a K, athleticswithak.com. You'll see the link below. You can just send us an email. All the emails come to me. You can give us a call, still me. And we do have frequently asked questions and stuff like that. I think we have a little bit of everything that you need to, get some sales in, make a little extra money, very, very easy, build your business. We have a lot of great ideas, and I'm always here to help. So if you have any questions about performance, let us know. And that's about it. Thank you guys so much.